Live from the KHOU 11 studios, H-Town Rush starts right now.
First at 6, we are following two big stories this morning. Here in Texas, 7 people are dead after a weekend shooting rampage in Odessa and Midland. We're learning more about the victims, but the big question this morning is why. We have team coverage of the investigation. And out east, all eyes are on Hurricane Dorian. The storm isn't backing down, holding at a Category 5 and battering the Bahamas. We're tracking Dorian as it inches closer to the U.S. We're going to have much more on both of those stories coming up in just a minute. But first, Cheetah is kicking off our Rush Block talking about locally just the heat.
Oh my goodness. Yesterday we hit a high of 100. Today we are going to be close. And then you can almost push repeat for the rest of the week. So I don't know. Take these 70s in while you can. 72 in Brenham, 73 in Tomball, 69 this morning in Conroe, 80 degrees at the airport at Hobby Airport. I tell you the only good news is our temperatures are feeling like what they're showing. Now that won't be the case this afternoon. We climbed to 93 by your lunchtime hour, feeling closer to 99 at noon. High temperatures today good at 98, feeling closer to about 102. Again, yesterday we did hit a high of 100. We will talk more about Dorian, Hurricane Dorian, coming up here, Doug, in just about 10 minutes.
Okay, thanks, Cheetah. For your Rush Block traffic, checking back in on I-45, the North Freeway, zooming you into those northbound lanes near Parker. Earlier, all lanes were shut down. Now it looks like just a couple of lanes are blocked. This is a result of 2 crashes that happened nearly at the same time in the same spot. The one in the left-hand lanes is still there. They are working to clear it out of the way. Probably not worth a detour. Overall, your travel times this morning are looking good. On the inbound side of I-45, coming in from Montgomery County, the Woodlands, Spring, average speed still near 70 miles per hour. I think we're in Labor Day mode today. I don't think we'll have much of a rush hour commute, but I'll keep a close eye on it. Brandy?
Doug, thank you. Midland and Odessa turned out for a vigil last night, honoring the 7 people killed in a mass shooting spree on Saturday. The vigil at UT Permian Basin drew a crowd, even as investigators revealed more about the rampage. They say the gunman opened fire after getting pulled over for a minor traffic violation. He was armed with what they call an AR-style weapon, and he drove around randomly firing at people in more than 15 locations before he was shot and killed during a confrontation with officers. Police ID'd the gunman as a 36-year-old with ties to the Midland-Odessa area. He also has previous arrests for trespassing and evading arrest dating back to 2001. What they have not said, though, is what his motive might be. They add he had no ties to domestic or international terrorism. In all, the gunman took the lives of 7 people. The youngest person hurt was a toddler, 17-month-old Anderson Davis. She was shot in the face. 3 officers were hit and survived. Now, investigators say the gunman didn't have ties to domestic or international terrorism. We told you that just a moment ago, but the question now is, what was his motive? Our Chris Costa was there as heavily armed federal agents raided a home in West Odessa on Sunday.
Federal agents are now combing over evidence collected at this West Odessa home that they believe is connected to the suspected shooter. That gold Toyota police were investigating is registered to this address and has the same name on that registration as the man police believe is the suspected shooter.
This is the FBI. We have a search warrant. Come from the front door with your hands up.
FBI, ATF, and DEA agents hope this house will reveal some clues about the man they believe killed at least 6 people and injured more than 20 others, including 3 police officers, in an indiscriminate shooting spree.
The man was very aggressive, and we recognized the car on Facebook.
Veronica Alonso lives next door to this home. She says a man who lives here has at least 2 guns and would often shoot them randomly at night. She says he even showed up at her door holding a gun once, and she called police, but they never came because they could not find the address.
It's unclear exactly what police were looking for here or if the suspected shooter even lives here. Police say the public in Midland and Odessa should expect to see a lot of police activity with search warrants being executed over the next few days. In West Odessa, I'm Chris Costa reporting for H-Town Rush.
Our coverage of the West Texas shootings continues on air and online. Coming up at 6:15, we're verifying which GoFundMe pages for victims are legitimate. And we want to get you to some breaking news right now. Pearland police issued an Amber Alert for this 15-year-old girl in the middle there. Her name is Irene Nunez, and police think she is in grave danger. Investigators believe her stepfather, Kevin Caceres, took the teen from her home. He was last seen driving a white 2013 Buick Enclave with the Texas license plate MLM 7190. If you've seen him or Irene, call Pearland Police. And breaking overnight, a 3-year-old girl is in the hospital after a car hit her in southwest Houston. Investigators say the little girl and her 4-year-old brother managed to slip out of their home without their parents knowing. A driver hit that girl as she crossed the street. The driver stayed to help. That girl is stable. No charges in that case. Let's get to Hurricane Dorian now. The storm is still a powerful Category 5 as it lingers over the Bahamas and churns toward the east coast. Our Michelle Choi is live in the newsroom with the latest for us. Michelle?
Brandy, Hurricane Dorian made its way across the Bahamas overnight this morning. Residents there being told to shelter in place until conditions improve. And we're now starting to see some of the first-hand damage they're dealing with on the islands this morning. And I've got to tell you, it looks bad.
Pray for us. We can't get down. It's a 2-story structure. The door is shut.
From a life-threatening storm surge to catastrophic winds, the National Hurricane Center says Hurricane Dorian is one of the strongest Atlantic hurricanes ever recorded and the strongest ever to make landfall. And as it inches closer towards the U.S. coastline, still as a Category 5 storm, authorities say they still don't know if, where, or when it will make landfall here in the states. But they're not taking any chances. States of emergency have been declared in Florida, Georgia, and the Carolinas, along with mandatory evacuations. Officials say even if Dorian veers back out to sea, the region is still facing days of devastating rains and wind. Authorities are also getting prepared for Dorian's aftermath. We're told emergency supplies and power trucks are in position to move in anywhere it's needed. Guys.
Michelle, thank you. Your Rush Block continues with today's other big stories, starting with the Department of Homeland Security defending a controversial decision to divert FEMA disaster funds to the U.S.-Mexico border.
Officials say funds to the border will not impact the department's response to Hurricane Dorian.
We believe we have fully adequate funding and no money has actually been moved at this point to begin with.
DHS plans to divert $155 million from FEMA. It says that money will be used to assist asylum seekers. Police found a woman shot to death in a West Houston motel room. Investigators say witnesses saw several people running away from Red Roof Inn on Sam Houston Parkway right after that shooting. There's no motive and no one in custody. Ohio will host the 4th Democratic debate for president coming up on October 15th. A second night will be held on October 16th if more than 10 candidates qualify. No word yet on which city the debates will be held in. Former Defense Secretary James Mattis breaks his silence after resigning from the Trump administration. He says President Trump's decision to pull all troops from Syria influenced his choice. Mattis said the move would betray our allies.
This was how I saw the strength of America, that we keep our alliances together and keep them tight.